it kind of relates to, our goal, which is to help every agent reach what they determine their freedom to do what they want, when they want, with who they want, how much they want, all that stuff. That's what we call our Freedom X State. Let's talk about the freedom uh, that you have working with sellers.
Obviously, with buyers, you're kind of you have to be at their beck and call, but not just their beck and call. If you're doing your job and you're finding properties that are off market and you're finding properties that are coming to market but haven't hit market yet, you've got to move quick. So that might mean that a Saturday afternoon when you were supposed to be going to the pool with your kids, all of a sudden now you got to go show a house to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. And that's not freedom. But if you're the listing agent on that same house, I'm going to be at the pool while the buyer's agent's going to be out showing my house.
And what about the time? I think I've heard people give a comparison of how much time you spend with a buyer and how much time you spend with the seller, and then you look at that divided by the amount of commission you make, and usually it's pretty clear. I make more money per hour working with sellers than I do buyers. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Even with the cost of having a listing, if you get a buyer, you're going to pay the cost in your time and your gas and all that. With a listing, you've got some cost involved in that. You're going to have to hire a photographer, and you're going to have to possibly get the place staged or get it redecorated. I have a girl that comes in if people live there and it's a little over furnished. She'll come in and she'll fix everything up. And it doesn't cost me that much, but she'll come in and she'll redecorate the place. I've actually had sellers that said, "Oh, wait, maybe we don't want to sell." You do have some costs up front, but at the end of the day, you're definitely making more money selling, being a listing agent, than you are working with the buyer.
So you talked about these expireds, and we probably, would scare anybody who wasn't already scared by the changes going on in this industry. Talking about calling expired is going to scare the rest of them off. but let's just talk about what does that sound like from your perspective when you make those calls, right? What do you say?
Obviously, when you're working expireds, you're working against another 100 agents. That it's kind of like getting a lead that 100 other agents got that same lead. But if you come in with the right value proposition and showing, what your value is, and them hiring you to sell their house as opposed to the other 99 agents that are going to call them, it becomes pretty easy. I don't really focus too much on my competition, how many other agents are going to come in. I more focus on developing a relationship with them. And that sometimes is not going in real hard of, "Hey, I want to list your house." They're going to have 99 other agents that are going to say, "Hey, I have a buyer for your house. If you had a buyer, why didn't you sell it yesterday before it expired?" Going in and helping them with some stuff. "Listen, you don't have to list with me, but let me take a look at the house and just kind of see and give you some pointers of what you probably should do to be more successful when you do relist it." Work with them on some of the free stuff, the stuff you're going to give them ahead of time. And if I can get in the front door and I can show them some things to do, it's not nerve wracking. It's not, a lot of work. It's more just hanging out with them and making them my friend.
So why don't more agents take advantage of that lead source? Because it's inexpensive, it's high return, you're working with sellers. And so why don't you think more agents do that routinely?
Probably just like you said at the beginning of this, it's just fear. Agents, it's always funny to me how we're real estate agents, we're salespeople, we're marketers, and so many of us are afraid to pick up the phone and call people. We're afraid to knock on the door and talk to people. Getting over that fear. And honestly, if I go talk to 10 people that their listing expired and 8 of them cuss me out and 1 of them lists with me, it's a good day. So I'm not that worried about those 8. I'm more focused on the ones that want to talk to me.